All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lunch and Learn today. I am Jeremy, and I'll be leading our call today. Um, and I guess I'll just start to go over the usual things as we get ready for our last Lunch and Learn of the week, and give everyone else a chance to join in. If you have questions, type them up in the Q&A. So yeah, the usual stuff. We've got a lot of things to check out. Nothing really new or changed since the last few Lunch and Learns this week, but we do have our YouTube channel. So check out our YouTube channel. A lot of good content coming up there, with details about things that have been added to decisions, especially whenever we have interesting new updates. We might put videos up there, as well as just different steps and different things. So we're always posting up there. And we also put all our Lunch and Learns there. So definitely check out our YouTube channel. We got the Solutions Marketplace, great place to check out for ideas or builds and things that you can add to your system and test out and try to do things with. And then we also have our events. We got in just a few more weeks our Submerse event from the 5th through the 8th of May coming up. You can sign up for that, and we'll be going over a new project. So we've got some pretty cool stuff there. And I know I've talked about that a few times, and we've kind of looked a little bit about what that looks like, but we're definitely excited to do that. We also have our product roadmap review. So if you're interested in signing up for any of those things, you can check those out. And there's a lot of good stuff that you could easily check out in there. I'm going to switch my screen so we can show anything else that we've got, and then we can go to any questions and things if we have anything. So again, here's our YouTube channel. A lot of the Lunch and Learns recently, but there are still quite a few of our things like our 5-minute overviews and other great things coming up. Check out decisions.com/events, get the roadmap review, check out new upcoming features, learn about what 9.9 is going to have to offer before 9.9 comes out, and then 9.10 before 9.10 comes out, and so on and so forth. Actually, I think 9.9 is out already, but 9.10, and other upcoming things. So great place to ask questions and take a look at that kind of stuff. So definitely check those things out if you're interested. Well, seems like a little bit of a light group today, which is totally fine. We'll give everyone a chance. If anyone has questions, please post them in the Q&A, and I'm happy to discuss anything, anything that we need or are curious about. Off to a great start with my loading here. Come on. We also have Gregory on the training team and Sushmita in our documentation team on our call here that can help with questions and documentation grabbing if we need anything else. So again, feel free to ask any questions. Always happy to help out, take a look at things.
Hi, good afternoon, Jeremy and Gregory.
Hello.
Yeah, it's me, Sushmita,
Mhm.
from the documentation team. Yeah, I have a question actually. Um,
Sure.
do you guys have any idea about process mining and the um, steps that we can see in the toolbox under process mining?
Yeah, I know a little bit about process mining. 'Cause I've done a few things on it. I'm not as familiar about the steps. Let me pull those open real quick so I can see them. I do know quite a bit just about how process mining works and some of the best ways to utilize
Mm-hmm.
process mining in decisions. So, if anyone's not familiar, process mining is a great tool that helps you track like the states of your processes, and
Mm-hmm.
is especially useful if you have case entities, so that when your case entities are moving from state to state, you can see how they're moving, how often states are reached, how often they're used, as well as the time frame that it takes things to enter and exit those states. So there's a lot of really interesting and neat things to use with it. Um, here. Okay.
The prediction ones mainly.
Prediction. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, um, while I don't know necessarily exactly what like a lot of
Mhm.
these steps do because I haven't used them,
Okay.
I do know that what like if you have process mining, unfortunately, it's going to take me a little while to get my process mining server back up because I
Mm-hmm.
don't have it on right now.
That's fine.
Um, but I do know that you can actually like create predictive models within it. So then you can use information based on the processes that you currently have in your process mining system. You can then take that data there and then output, or not output, but like display a predictive model saying, like, oh, if it continues using like with the details that we have so far, you can create these predictive models to then, output that, idea, that information and everything like that. And
Oh,
so, here, right, we have that like it's that exact kind of like information where you would take in like your case entity details, um, and all the information regarding that, the activities that are going in and all that kind of stuff that are like related to your case entity itself, and those details go in. And then I'm
mm-hmm.
assuming I've never messed with these settings, but I'm assuming,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like there's different like classifications and other things that you can adjust. I'd have to play around with process mining to
Yeah.
remember exactly what these are.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's the same exact thing. You can do it in the process mining server to, create this, add, change these values and everything, and then create the predictive model so that you can kind of see what it would look like if you increased your numbers or different things like that,
Oh.
in that use case. And then so like that's exactly what these are doing in here is like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now if I want to just run it from decisions instead of having to open up, the process mining like server to open it up and create it, I can easily do that in here. If I
Mm-hmm.
need to get it and actually get like um, the model and the details from the prediction to use in decisions. So most of these will just like allow me to create them or grab them from decisions. And if you create them in process mining, I believe you can still get the IDs and the details from them so that you
Okay.
can get that information as well.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Good question. We do have another question from Robert. So I will go ahead and read that one off. I'll give you the ability to talk to if you have anything to add once I read it. Um, So Robert Sharp's question is there a way within a flow to send users to a specific URL? Use case is for after login, send users to a decisions page, but with the Chrome equals off URL extension. Yeah, sure. So there's a few ways that we can kind of um, set that data up um, with certain aspects, and we cover some of these actually a little bit in training. It really just depends on what you're doing. Um, so there are settings, and forgive me because I don't remember off the top of my head exactly where those are. Um, but I know for sure you can actually set like even on like specific accounts, the what the login actually defaults to. So when like a user logs into decisions, what their like default folder is going to be.
Yeah, I know that setting, but is there a way to make it so that it has that Chrome equals off addition to the URL? So like they don't
Does
end
it
up seeing
not
like the
include, is it not
banners.
URL? Is it just like a folder pick? Is that maybe what it is on that setting?
So there's default folder, and it looks like it's just a folder selection, I think. I'm in version 8 as well,
Okay.
but
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I
I
think
think it
that
should all be the
sounds right.
same, but
There's definitely a couple things. So, I know for sure you can, let me open up, I have a project that has it already, I think. Um, so one thing you could do, is it like a specific decisions page that you've created, like you have your like a dashboard that you want them to have access to?
basically, yes.
Okay, perfect. So we do that in our financial lending project as an example. Now we don't use it necessarily. We don't have it in our project, at least, not for like a decisions login. So we don't have like a user has to log in to do it. We have it for guest users, but you could do the same kind of thing. you can actually get that Chrome equals off URL and everything from the from like the dashboard itself, which is really helpful. And then you could actually just set that up with a login flow to get that data and to like force them into that page if you want that specific Chrome equals off extension. So instead of it going to the folder, it would go there. And if my decisions would behave with me today, I would be able to show you this. Nope, I opened the wrong folder. I don't have this. I really thought I had this saved. Oh, apparently I never didn't put it in the public folder yet. So any normal folder and decisions, you can actually still get integration details. And if you need to, like change the details or whatever, but if you want like the login or anything like special like that, you can change those. And then this is also like an easy place to adjust other elements like your Chrome equals off. Now, I mean, that just simply adds Chrome equals off, but it gives you the full URL. And if you need like an idea of what it looks like, you have like your main URL part, the folder ID for the page or whatever that you're trying to access, and then additional adjustments that you change here. So if you have this exact URL, then you should be able to just add this. There are before login flows or after login flows, I believe you can add. So after a user logs in, you can force that. So I'm not searching around. Gregory, do you remember exactly where those are? Because it's been a while and I don't want to search around too much. Like the login flows.
Oh, I don't recall off the top of my head.
Yeah, I know they exist, but I just can't remember where they are.
Is it not letting you choose from actually
I think it's in the portal settings.
and then the login flow for portal login? Yeah, I think the reason it's not showing up is you need a particular portal behavior. I mean flow behavior. So if when you add it and it's not showing anything, I think that's because you actually need a particular kind of behavior for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's why it's not showing.
That would make sense. Do you know what that behavior is? It's like I can take a flow I have and set flow behavior.
Yeah, let me see here. Hold on, I'm trying to remember exactly what's called. I think it's called login flow. Hold on, I'm pulling it up on my local. Give me a moment.
See login user flow and login user UI flow.
Ooh, might be login user flow. I'd have to double check. Hold on. I'm looking. Login. I think the login flow is the default one that you're looking for, where login user UI is if you're trying to display something separate to them.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's. I can double check, but I'm pretty sure that would
Yeah.
be what you're trying to look for.
Yeah, I believe the UI is meant to be able to utilize like decisions UI in a form,
Okay.
which doesn't apply. But you could use this, and like on login, you can redirect the users and different things like that. You can have URLs here that can redirect the user to where you need them to go.
And what's the steps for those? Cause I just don't know what those would be.
Was it like end form session?
Yep, that's what I was going for.
Cool.
There's a step called end form session that has a few different behaviors, a few different things you can do. You can make it create like a pop-up or different things like that. Like if you're familiar with end forms, it's kind of
Mhm.
similar to that, but it's like a less configurable, like simple, here's the thing that I want it to do kind of concept.
Okay, yeah, so it can open URL, okay.
Yep.
Or update URL parameters.
If my decisions instance would decide to be not slow on me this morning, I'd be able to actually show it, but I don't know what's happening. So though Vitaly is saying in the chat that you might not be able to use the navigate steps in your login flows in the same way, at least.
With that inform session, it looked like it worked. I was able
Okay.
to, well, I haven't tested it yet, but it has the option
At
to
least
open a
set it up.
URL. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my apologies. I don't know what is happening with my server right now. I had 0 issues on Tuesday when I ran this. There we go. I'm not as familiar with how these flows work to know exactly what this would do, but as soon as I run it, there it goes.
Yeah, so, okay.
So it looks like
I just
it-
had to specify the correct page of that dashboard, but yes.
right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Give it another minute. If anyone else comes up with anything, has any thoughts they want to ask about.
I have another slight topic.
Sure.
This is, so if you have like a data structure, you can, right click and there's an action to generate a form.
You know, on the data structure.
Yeah, so if you just like create a very simple one. Or something.
Okay.
Yeah, generate
Generate form.
form. Yeah. Sure, just generate. Is there a way to, access the process that does this to do this, or like create our own process to generate a form? Because this one,
So you want to,
it just generates, a standard label and field for each, every single like field property of the data structure. But if we wanted to limit which ones actually got chosen, is there a way for us to access whatever processes create this form? Because
yes.
like I don't know if they're like in the step catalog or anything.
Typically this is like some kind of system level created thing if there's
Yeah.
like an action. I don't know exactly what that is or where it would be if you can look for it. Exactly. You can, however, like create like right clickable actions that you could like add to things like this.
Mm-hmm.
And you could generate that your like process yourself if you wanted to do something like that. The main thing that you'd be doing with this is you'd probably be running internal steps. So under
Yeah.
integration and
I just
internal
didn't know what the
services,
internal steps would be to, create a
yeah,
form.
I'm assuming something in the form, maybe even form designer service. So like if you create a form, you can like add components, add rows, um, and different things like that. Move things.
It'd just be a lot of like
So
testing to figure it out exactly. But
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Not having done this, I like individually myself, like it would just be a lot of like creating this, like trying to create the forms. I don't know if form service would be any different here. I think this is to deal with forms that are already created. Yeah, I think this is for forms that are already created, so you can get details about the forms. But
Okay.
But yeah, I would most likely be form designer service and kind of checking out a lot of these methods to see what ones can do what you're looking for here. I know a lot of our system folders and things will like show some of those actions, like and like what you can do with them. Like even just like some of the import like details. Like if I search import, like you can manipulate how the import process works. And obviously you want to be incredibly careful with those kinds of things because they're system wide and you break your import process, then you can't import anything.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
like
That's why I'm like,
that.
want to
Yeah.
get
So
like create our
you
own
would
instead of manipulating the current one.
yeah, definitely shy away from trying to change the current one, although I don't even know where that would be. And it would most
Yeah.
likely just be messing around with that design
Okay.
form designer service.
Form designer service. Okay, thank you.
And Natalia, I see you said, can you see if it actually works on login? That's the one thing I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I'm not as familiar with the login flows. Do I have to like configure something to make it work, or is this like once I create this flow, it's going to work on login no matter what? That's the only thing I'm
What,
not sure how to actually configure it.
I think you'd have to
so
set
with
it up
this,
in
yeah, you need
the
to go to settings.
portal to
That in the portal
set it as the run after login setting or
I see.
whatever.
Is it in portal settings or is it?
I think it's portal settings. And execute it
Oh, I
after
see.
user login, yeah.
Doesn't look like it ran. You can try it. See if I can work it on here real quick. No, I forgot to do that.
I think you still have your integration details tab open.
Oh, I do. Is that I don't want that one though. So I opened up a different server. Oh no, I saw this one here, right? Thank you. Portal settings. Add that. Doesn't seem to actually open when I log in. Unless I'm missing another configuration, but doesn't actually seem to run that, or at least do the login part.
I do believe there's an issue with the end form session, and I did request it that you cannot use the login. So just to confirm if you have fixed that and what's the reason behind. So it says it's because it's async, it cannot
Yeah.
do redirection. But another solution would be if you put users into groups like admins, and then on admin group in settings, you say default page will be admin page. If you have designers, default page will be different for the group. That's another good way. Yeah, default URL parameters, you can say Chrome equals off.
Right.
And there should be default page for the group.
Default folder.
Yeah. So you can use folder, and where you type in Chrome equals off, you can say and page name, admin page, whatever your page name is,
Mhm.
before Chrome equals off. And Chrome equals off.
Right. Leave that for now. We'll work around that. Let me make sure I have it
So
right.
that's why one of the ways. Another way to go around this would be to go to default page, and on that default page, you would have flow run part that will have like an empty form with the, let's say, JavaScript control that will pull that information from cookies. So when you try to redirect somebody, you put those values into cookies, and then your default page will pull that from cookies and redirect user.
There you go. The group one worked. So Robert, if
Okay,
you're watching
so
that,
that's a good
the
option.
solution.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to have specific groups for the people that you want. Set the URL parameters, and then whatever their default page is going to be.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions? All right. Then we can go ahead and end our call for the day. So thank you all for joining. We will go ahead and continue Lunch and Learns next week. As is the usual, we will not have it on Fridays. So thank you all for joining. Thank you for the questions and the assists. And we'll hope to see you all next week for Lunch and Learn.